All right, so I went to Con last week. I drove from California to Texas. I made it to the convention. I made it to Texas easy. Like I wasn't even tired by the time I got there. Um, the convention was actually fine. Like the convention itself was decent. It was fine. It was run exactly like a convention needs to be. Recession time. People aren't there. People aren't there to spend money. Just sucks. Worst net I've ever done at a convention. Right. Iron Pinky is the fucking savage. Of course he does it. He's got that shit on lock. Iron Pinky, that dude knows what he's doing. He's a fucking savage. Yeah, yeah. He doesn't even have to do that. He's like, yeah. But anyway, so Tim, what's up? I'm telling the Texas story for the last time. Okay, so the convention was real. All right, so it's about a 20. I drive the first day. Okay, so the first day, I drive to Texas from California. It took about 18 hours. I intentionally took a stop at Amarillo to sleep. Super smooth, not tired at all. Next day was another 5 hours to get to the convention. Solid, right? I'm staying at the hotel the convention is at, which was going to make life a lot easier. Uh, the convention, it was actually pretty well run. It's just nobody showed up, and the people who showed up, just not spending money, okay? And then worst net I've ever done at a convention. So my buddy flew out to help me, and we ended up just hanging out all weekend, and like we went to the gym and shit because we had nothing else to do. Um, so convention was done. We were gonna leave early, and I was just like, you know what? We're just gonna leave hella early so that the loading dock isn't packed. Let's just go. I get to the loading dock at like 11 a.m. The loading dock is full because everybody's ready to leave. Nobody fucking wants to stay. My buddy AJ paid $150 to change his flight because he felt like it was more valuable to spend $150 and to go home a day early than to stay at the con. That's how slow it was. Okay. So we're driving home. We catch regular Texas traffic. It's not a big deal. On the way home, we catch a thunderstorm that was like pouring. And then like we catch fog, zero visibility. So everyone was driving hella slow, added hours to the drive. But that's just Mother Nature. Can't do anything about it, right? So we're driving from Texas on our way to Tucson, Arizona, because that's where I'm dropping off my friend for his flight home. Okay, not a big deal. So we left around 3 p.m. So keep track of this. We left Texas, or we left the convention around 3 p.m. It is now 2 a.m. We've been driving nonstop, and then we get a notice from my maps, my Google Maps, and it's just like, get your immigration stuff ready because you got to go through Mexico. I'm like, what the fuck you mean we got to go through Mexico? So we pull over, and it turns out one of the, was it Freeway 10 is closed. And then my friend, he checks his Apple Maps, and he's just like, maybe Apple is different. Nope, same thing, closed on both apps. So we had to choose we didn't want to go to fucking Mexico. So we went through like a mountain pass, which added like 2 hours to the drive. And I was like, oh, okay. So we're just doing the swervy thing up the mountain. And then all of a sudden, there's like this roadblock with these lights and these guys with guns. And I was like, what the fuck is this? It's immigration. It's nothing. It wasn't like, I mean, but it could have been like pirates or something, right? So I stopped before we pulled up, and I was like, what is this? And then we saw this sign that it was immigration. But you don't want to stop leading into an immigration stop because then you look shady as fuck, right? So anyway, we roll up, and the dude's just asking us a bunch of questions. He's just like on our ass, and he's just like, what's in the truck? What do you do? Where are you born? You know, why'd you stop before you pull up? Ultimately, he just realized we were a bunch of dumb guys who were hella lost, and he was cool after that. He was just doing his job. And then he was like, you guys are coming up this mountain pass because you think the freeway's closed, right? And I'm like, what do you mean we think it's closed? He's just like, that freeway's not closed. I don't know why they keep showing that it's closed, but we've been calling it in. That freeway shouldn't be closed on your maps. And I was like, fuck. I was like, so what do we do? He's like, well, you've already driven this far through the mountain pass. You may as well just go all the way. So he just told us where to go. And I was like, fuck. So we finally got out of the little immigration stop. And yeah, well, we finally got out, and we just make our way. Now it's about 7:30 in the morning. We had slept for 55 minutes after we got out of the mountain pass, okay? So then we pull up to Tucson, Arizona. It's about 7:30 in the morning, okay? So we had been driving since 3 p.m. the day before, 7:30 the next morning, right? And we only took 55 minutes to go to sleep. So I dropped my friend off at the airport. We say our goodbyes. We have one last cigarette together. It's cool, you know, very cool. It would be a long time before I see him again. Or I thought. So I drive about 2 minutes down the road outside the airport. He calls me. He's just like, "Hey man, you gotta turn around." I'm like, "What happened?" It's like, "American changed my flight." He basically had to fly out the next day, and he has work the next day. So I was just like, "Fuck." So from Tucson to home is 11 hours. From Tucson to where he lives, which is in Anaheim, back home, on the map is 11 and a half hours, but I knew I'd catch traffic. So I was just like, well, I got to just drive you home. So now I got to go from Tucson to Anaheim. And so I have to go back to the airport and I grab them. They refunded me for the flight, whatever. Yeah. And then before we get to Anaheim, we enter California. And the first thing you catch in California from Arizona is Palm Springs. Dead stop traffic. It took us like 4 hours to get from Palm Springs, like to just get out of Palm Springs. And then it was, I swear to God, like 4:30 p.m. by the time we got to Anaheim. So we'd been driving over 24 hours already. And then I was there and I was just like, fuck, I got LA traffic. It's like about to be 5 p.m. Do I want to just stay here with my friend for the night? Or do I just truck it home? And I was like, nah, I got to get home. I was just like, I can't do this. So, yeah, I hop into LA traffic. And from Anaheim to where I live, supposed to be 4.5 hours. I got on the road a little bit before 5 p.m. I didn't go home till 1 a.m. Anyway, that's why I'm not doing conventions anymore, because there you go. That's what happened.